Meet the Johnsons. On paper, they're the American dream. Dual incomes, a suburban home, and 2 kids in private school. But behind closed doors, they're drowning. Their combined $120,000 salary evaporates every month on car payments, credit card debt, and a mortgage that feels like a noose. They've never invested a dime. Their emergency fund is $500 in retirement. We'll figure it out later. Sound familiar? The Johnsons aren't lazy or unlucky. They're victims of invisible financial traps, systems designed to keep people busy, stressed, and broke. From childhood to adulthood, we're taught to work hard, spend freely, and trust banks to handle our future. But what if the real problem isn't our income level? It's the rules we're never taught to question. Enter the Jewish approach. For over 3,000 years, Jewish communities have survived wars, persecution, and economic upheaval by mastering personal finance. Their secret? A blend of ancient wisdom, like Talmudic teachings on debt, and practical strategies, such as mutual aid societies and ethical investing. These aren't just tips. They're cultural DNA designed to build generational wealth while uplifting communities. In this guide, we'll explore 9 financial traps even high earners fall into, and how to avoid them using lessons from Jewish tradition and modern tools. From crushing high-interest debt to building legacies that outlive you, this isn't about frugality. It's about reclaiming control. Here's what we'll cover. Financial illiteracy starts in childhood. Isolation in financial decision-making. Short-term thinking in a long-term game. Ethical blind spots in investing. Debt as a cultural norm. Single-income vulnerability. Lifestyle inflation. Ignoring legacy planning. High-interest debt. Each trap will pair a Jewish insight, like teaching kids to give 10% of their allowance, with actionable steps, such as using apps to automate savings, and a community angle like mentoring teens and budgeting. By the end, you'll realize wealth isn't about luck. It's about playing the game differently. Let's begin. Trap 1. Financial illiteracy starts in childhood. Most Americans learn about money the hard way, through debt, bankruptcy, or retirement panic. Why? Schools rarely teach budgeting, investing, or taxes. A 2022 study found that only 21% of U.S. high schools require a personal finance course. The result? Adults who max out credit cards, overspend on homes, and panic when emergencies strike. Jewish insight. Teaching children about money early. Jewish families treat financial education like a birthright. By age 5, many kids receive coins for tzedakah, charity, learning that money isn't just for spending, it's for sharing. By age 13, bar or bat, mitzvahs often include lessons on managing allowances and saving for the future. This isn't charity, it's financial scaffolding. Historical example. The kosher money system. In Eastern Europe, Jewish families tied allowances to chores and charity. A child might earn 3 coins weekly, 1 for spending, 1 for saving, and 1 for giving. This piggy bank triad ingrained balance before adolescence. Today, families use apps like Greenlight to automate this system digitally. Create a piggy bank triad. Spend. For small purchases, toys, candy. Save for bigger goals, a bike camp. Give to a cause they care about, animal shelters, food banks. Why it works. Kids learn delayed gratification and empathy. Use budgeting apps for teens. Greenlight or FAMZoo let parents set spending limits, pay allowances, and track goals. Bonus. Set 5% monthly interest on savings to mimic compound growth. Enroll in investing games. Programs like the stock market game let teens invest virtual cash in real stocks. Result. They learn risk management without losing real money. Community/ethics angle. Share financial values openly. Jewish families discuss money openly. Grandparents teach inheritance principles. Parents model budgeting. Try hosting a money night to share wins and struggles. Inviting teens to family budget meetings. Donating time or money together to local causes. Financial literacy isn't a solo journey. Start early, make it fun, and let kids fail safely. Trap 2. Isolation in financial decision-making. Americans are lone wolves with money. We open credit cards alone, invest in stocks alone, and even start businesses alone. But solo financial decisions are riskier. Without accountability, we overspend, chase bad investments, or take on unsustainable debt. Jewish insight. The power of community. Jewish tradition prizes collective action. The Jemic, an interest-free loan system, helped immigrants launch businesses. In 19th century New York, Jewish tailors pooled resources to buy sewing machines, a proto-crowdfunding model. Today, loan circles still thrive in Orthodox communities. Historical example. Lending circles in Eastern Europe. Imagine a 1920 shtetl. A baker needs flour but lacks cash. The community creates a rotating fund. Each member contributes monthly, and one person receives the lump sum to invest in their business. When the baker repays, the next person gets the pot. No banks, no interest, just trust. Join or create a savings circle. Platforms like Kiva or Susu's digitize loan circles. Example: 5 friends contribute $100 monthly. Each gets $500 in turn to pay off debt or start a side hustle. Use ethical peer-to-peer lending. Upstart or Prosper connect borrowers with individual investors at lower rates than banks. Tip: prioritize lenders who screen for character, not just credit scores. Build a money mastermind group. Gather 4 to 6 trusted peers to meet monthly and share budgets and progress. Brainstorm solutions to debt, investing, or entrepreneurship hurdles. Hold each other accountable. Did you stick to your grocery budget? Community/ethics angle. Support local co-ops and credit unions. Jewish communities thrive by building mutual aid networks. You can too. Join a credit union, member-owned banks with lower fees. Invest in worker co-ops, democratic ownership models. Volunteer to teach financial literacy at schools or community centers. Wealth grows in networks, not silos. Surround yourself with people who prioritize smart money moves and watch your confidence and savings soar. Trap 3. Short-term thinking in a long-term game. In the age of TikTok investing and get-rich-quick crypto schemes, Americans are obsessed with short-term wins. A 2023 survey found that 60% of millennials and Gen Z traders hold stocks for less than a year, while day trading might generate quick cash. It's a gamble, not a strategy. True wealth isn't built in months. It's grown over decades. Jewish insight. The Shemitah cycle, a blueprint for patience. Jewish tradition teaches that time is sacred. Every 7 years, the land of Israel lies fallow during Shemitah, the sabbatical year. Debts are forgiven and society resets. This cyclical pause forces long-term thinking. Farmers plan for 7 years of harvest, knowing the 8th year will require trust in future abundance. Historical example. Medieval merchants prioritized education over luxury. In the 12th century in Spain, Jewish merchants like Moses Maimonides, father of the philosopher, reinvested profits into schools and libraries. Not mansions or feasts. Their descendants, like Maimonides himself, became scholars, doctors, and leaders, creating generational wealth through knowledge, not consumption. Create a 10-year financial roadmap. Define milestones. Pay off student loans by 35, save $500,000 by 45, retire by 55. Blend the fire, financial independence. Retire early, movement with Jewish patience. Reassess every 7 years, a la Shemitah, to adjust goals. Automate investments with robo-advisors. Platforms like Betterment or Wealthfront diversify portfolios and rebalance assets automatically. Set monthly contributions to pay yourself first. Even $50 a month grows to $50,000 plus in 30 years at 7% returns. Practice financial Shabbat. Dedicate 1 day a week, e.g. Sunday, to no spending, no shopping, and no debt decisions. Reflect on long-term goals. Will this purchase matter in 10 years? Community/ethics angle. Leave a legacy through endowments. Jewish communities built synagogues, hospitals, and schools funded by endowments, perpetual funds that sustain causes indefinitely. You can, too, donate to scholarship funds or community land trusts. Create a family legacy fund where relatives contribute monthly to a shared investment account. Wealth isn't a sprint, it's a relay race. Plan for the next generation, not just your next paycheck. Trap 4. Ethical blind spots in investing. Many investors unknowingly profit from industries that harm society. Payday lenders charging 400% interest, fossil fuel companies fueling climate change, or corporations exploiting cheap labor. A 2022 study found that 70% of Americans have no idea what their retirement funds are invested in. Jewish insight. Prohibition of ribbit and ethical trade. The Torah forbids Jews from charging interest, ribbit, on loans to fellow Jews. To circumvent this while still enabling commerce, medieval rabbis created the Heder Iska, permitted business, contract, a profit-sharing partnership, not a loan. This framework prioritized mutual benefit over exploitation. Historical example. Trust-based trade networks. In the 16th century in Venice, Jewish merchants financed Silk Road caravans without interest. Instead, they shared profits with traders, fostering loyalty and long-term relationships. Their reputation for fairness made them trusted middlemen between Europe and Asia. Screen investments using ESG metrics. Use platforms like Morningstar Sustainalytics to avoid companies with poor environmental or labor practices. Look for funds rated AAA in ESG, Environmental Social Governance by MSCI. Use ethical banking platforms. Aspiration, a B Corp bank that avoids fossil fuels and offers pay-what-is-fair fees. Shemayim, a Jewish ESG platform directing capital to startups solving global crises, e.g., water scarcity, food waste. Advocate for corporate responsibility. As a shareholder, vote on proxy issues, e.g., climate disclosures, executive pay ratios. Join campaigns like Some of Us to pressure companies to adopt fair practices. Community/ethics angle. Profit with purpose. Jewish tradition holds that the world stands on three things: truth, justice, and peace. Pirkei Avot 118. Apply this to finance. Invest in social impact bonds, funding affordable housing or education. Support fair trade cooperatives, e.g., Equal Exchange, that pay farmers fairly. Your portfolio isn't just a collection of stocks, it's a moral statement. Align it with values that uplift humanity. Trap 5. Debt as a cultural norm. Debt is so normalized that we've forgotten how toxic it is. The average American has $96,371 in personal debt, excluding mortgages, student loans, credit cards, and, by now, pay-later schemes are sold as necessary evils. But debt isn't freedom, it's a chain. Jewish insight. Debt is a spiritual stain. The Talmud calls debt a form of chav, obligation, that stains the soul. It warns, the borrower is a servant to the lender. Proverbs 22, verse 7. Ancient rabbis even restricted certain professions, like tax collectors, for exploiting debtors. Historical example. Holocaust survivors built debt-free lives. After World War II, Jewish refugees arriving in America prioritized debt-free small businesses. A 1948 report noted that 85% of Jewish immigrants in New York owned shops or workshops within 5 years, funded by savings, not loans. Their mantra: we lost everything once. We'll never risk it again. Adopt the debt snowball or avalanche method. Snowball. Pay smallest debts first for psychological wins, e.g., $500 credit card balance. Avalanche. Tackle high-interest debt first, e.g., 24% APR credit cards. Tools. You need a budget. Enab guides both strategies. Negotiate medical bills or use zero-interest cards wisely. Call providers to reduce medical bills by 20 to 50%. Hospitals often settle for cash. Use 0% APR cards like Citi Simplicity for large purchases, but pay them off before interest kicks in. Build an emergency fund with high-yield accounts. Start with $1,000. Then grow to 3 to 6 months of expenses. Park Funds and Ally Bank or Marcus by Goldman Sachs, 4 to 5% APY in 2023. Community/ethics angle. Advocate for systemic change. Jewish communities historically fought usury laws and predatory lending. Today you can support local GEMIC-style interest-free loan programs. Campaign for debt forgiveness policies, e.g., student loan relief, medical debt abolition. Volunteer with nonprofits like United Way to help families escape payday loans. Debt isn't inevitable. It's a cultural habit. Break the cycle by prioritizing freedom over instant gratification. Trap 6. Single income vulnerability. In 2023, layoffs hit tech, media, and finance sectors hard. Sarah, a marketing manager, lost her $110,000 job overnight. Her savings? Just $5,000 and no side income. Suddenly, her mortgage, student loans, and daycare costs felt like a death sentence. Sarah's story isn't rare. Over 70% of American households rely on a single income, leaving them exposed to economic shocks. Jewish insight. Diversification as survival. Jewish tradition celebrates multifaceted earners. The Talmud praises rabbis who worked as carpenters or scribes to fund their studies. Even Paul the Apostle, a first-century scholar, made tents to support his ministry. This wasn't just practical, it was spiritual. Torah study paired with a trade sustains a person. Perkei Avot 2:2. Historical example. Sephardic Jews built diverse empires. In the 17th century in Amsterdam, Sephardic Jews fleeing persecution created global networks. They traded spices, diamonds, and textiles while investing in banks and shipping. By spreading risk across industries, they survived wars, trade embargoes, and currency collapses. Their mantra, one hand for business, one for community. Start a side hustle shtick. Freelancing. Platforms like Upwork or Fiverr let you monetize skills. Writing, design, coding. Rental properties. Use Roofstock to buy turnkey rentals, e.g., a $150,000 duplex generating $1,200 monthly cash flow. Etsy shops. Sell crafts, vintage items, or digital downloads, e.g., printable planners. Invest in skills that pay bills. Learn coding via Coursera, $49 a month for full-stack web dev, or trade skills through trade school, electrician, HVAC certifications. Example, a nurse earning $75,000 a year adds phlebotomy certification, boosting income by $15,000. Use passive income tools. Dividend stocks. Platforms like M1 Finance automate dividend reinvestment, e.g., for percent yield on $50,000 equals $2,000 a year. Peer-to-peer lending. Apps like Fundrise let you invest $500 plus in real estate crowdfunding. Community/ethics angle. Mentorship as tzedakah. Jewish communities thrived by sharing knowledge. Today, host a skill swap night, e.g., teach budgeting in exchange for coding lessons. Volunteer to mentor teens in financial literacy via Junior Achievement. Fund a scholarship for vocational training. Skills pay bills even in recessions. Single income reliance is a gamble. Diversify your income streams, like the Sephardic traders, and build resilience. Trap 7. Lifestyle inflation. Mark earned $50,000 fresh out of college. He drove a 10-year-old car, cooked at home, and saved 15%. By 35, his salary doubled to $100,000, and so did his expenses. A new car, $200 a month gym membership, and $300 a week Uber Eats runs. His savings rate? 0. Mark's story mirrors 80% of Americans who let lifestyle inflation erase raises. Jewish insight. Dayenu, it would have been enough. The Passover hymn Dayenu teaches gratitude. If God had split the sea but not fed us manna, it would have been enough. This mindset rejects greed. Jewish immigrants in the 19th century America embraced this, saving 20 to 30% of meager incomes by prioritizing needs over wants. Historical example. Immigrant frugality built wealth. In the 1880s in New York, Taylor Isaac Greenberg earned $12 a week, but saved $4 by living in a tenement and eating bread with schmaltz, rendered chicken fat. By 40, he owned a shop and funded his children's education. His secret? Live like you're poor until you're rich. Adopt a lifestyle freeze. Lock your spending at current levels, even after raises. Example. If you earn $75,000 a year and get a 10% raise, $7,500, save the entire increase instead of upgrading your apartment. Use the 50/30/20 rule. 50% needs: rent, groceries, utilities. 30% wants: Netflix, dining out, hobbies. 20% savings/debt. Automate transfers to savings. Tools. Enab or Good Budget enforce this rule. Automate savings increases. Apps like Digit or Capital analyze spending and move extra cash to savings. Example. Capital's Roundup rule saves $50 a month by rounding purchases to the nearest dollar. Community/ethics angle. Model simplicity. Jewish ethics prioritize tzniut, modesty. Apply this to money. Host a minimalist challenge with friends. Who can sell the most in used stuff on Facebook Marketplace? Advocate for anti-consumerism. Share tips on frugal living via blog or TikTok. Donate gently used items to shelters. Declutter and give tzedakah. True wealth isn't about what you own. It's about what you control. Practice Dainu and watch your savings soar. Trap 8. Ignoring legacy planning. When Ellen's husband died suddenly at 52, she discovered he'd never updated his will. His $800,000 portfolio, now tied up in probate court. Meanwhile, their daughter's college fund? Empty. Ellen's story is common. 60% of Americans die without a will, leaving families in chaos. Jewish insight. Maser ensures resources outlive us. Jewish tradition mandates Maser, giving 10% of income to charity, even when poor. This isn't just generosity. It's legacy planning. By redirecting resources to causes you care about, you ensure your values live on. Historical example. Communal legacies. In the 18th century in Poland, wealthy Jews funded synagogues, schools, and free loan societies, gemachs. These endowments sustained communities for centuries. Rabbi Yisrael Salinger said, "A true leader builds institutions that outlive him." Draft a will or trust. Platforms like LegalZoom, $89 for a simple will, or Trust and Will, $149 for a revocable trust. Make it easy. Include digital assets, crypto, social media, and name guardians for minor children. Set up donor-advised funds, DFs. Open a DEF with Fidelity Charitable or Schwab Charitable. Get a tax deduction up front. Then recommend grants to nonprofits over time. Example. Contribute $10,000 to a DF, deduct it from 2023 taxes, and distribute funds to your synagogue or food bank in 2024, 2025. Teach children stewardship. Hold family philanthropy meetings. Let kids pick causes to support, e.g., animal shelters, climate nonprofits. Start a legacy jar. Each month, the family contributes $20 to a fund for future charitable giving. Community/ethics angle. Mentor young professionals. Jewish communities historically passed down financial wisdom. You can too. Fund a scholarship at your alma mater or trade school. Mentor teens in budgeting via Big Brothers, Big Sisters. Advocate for estate planning education in schools or workplaces. Legacy planning isn't just for the rich. It's about ensuring your life's work uplifts others long after you're gone. Trap 9. High-interest debt. Meet Carlos, a construction worker who charged $5,000 on his credit card after a medical emergency. With a 24% annual percentage rate, APR, his minimum payments barely dent the principal. 2 years later, he's paid $3,000 in interest and still owes $4,500. Carlos isn't alone. Over 40% of Americans carry credit card debt, with average interest rates exceeding 20%. Payday loans and auto title loans often charge 300 to 400% APR, trapping borrowers in cycles of poverty. Jewish insight: the Torah's war on interest. The Torah declares, "Do not charge your brother interest." Deuteronomy 23 verse 20. For Jews, profiting from another's desperation was morally wrong. But medieval rabbis faced a dilemma. How could Jewish merchants fund trade without interest? Their solution? The Heder Iska, permitted business, contract, a profit-sharing partnership disguised as a loan. This framework prioritized mutual benefit over exploitation. Historical example: medieval lenders avoided usury. In the 14th century in France, Jewish financiers used Heder Iska agreements to lend to Christian nobles. Instead of fixed interest, they shared profits from vineyard investments. This system built trust and sustained communities during anti-Semitic crackdowns. The message? Wealth thrives when it uplifts both parties. Use balance transfer cards to consolidate debt. Cards like Discover It or City Simplicity offer 0% APR for 12 to 21 months. Example: transfer $5,000 debt to a 0% APR card and pay $417 monthly to clear it interest-free. Enroll in credit counseling. Nonprofits like the National Foundation for Credit Counseling, NFCC, negotiate lower interest rates and payment plans. Cost: $50 a month for debt management plans, DMPs. But APR drops to 8 to 10%. Avoid predatory lenders. Skip payday loans or car title lenders. Instead, use credit unions, Navy Federal, PenFed, offering payday alternative loans, PALs, at 28% APR max. Join community banks that prioritize members over profits. Community/ethics angle. Fight for fair lending laws. Jewish communities historically opposed exploitative systems. Today, support local GEMIC-style interest-free loan programs, e.g., the Hebrew Free Loan Association. Advocate for state-level caps on payday loan APRs, e.g., California's 36% cap. Volunteer with nonprofits like Operation Hope to teach budgeting in underserved neighborhoods. High-interest debt isn't a personal failure. It's a rigged system. Reject predatory lenders, embrace ethical alternatives, and fight for change. Financial literacy. Start kids early with the piggy bank triad. Isolation. Build a money mastermind group or join a savings circle. Short-term thinking. Create a 10-year roadmap and practice financial Shabbat. Ethical blind spots. Screen investments using ESG metrics. Debt normalization. Crush high-interest debt with the snowball/avalanche method. Single income risk. Launch a side hustle or invest in dividend stocks. Lifestyle inflation. Freeze spending and automate savings. Legacy neglect. Draft a will and teach kids stewardship. High-interest debt. Use balance transfers and avoid predatory lenders. Each trap has ancient roots and modern solutions. By blending Jewish wisdom, e.g., Shemitah cycles, Heder Iska, with tools like robo-advisors and credit unions, you can build unshakable wealth. You don't need to overhaul your finances overnight. Choose one trap. If you're drowning in debt, sign up for NFCC credit counseling. If you're isolated, start a money mastermind group. If you're ignoring legacy planning, draft a will on LegalZoom. Progress compounds. Final thought. Wealth is a journey, not a destination. Jewish tradition teaches the world stands on three things: Torah, service, and acts of loving kindness. Perkei Avot 1:2. Financial freedom isn't just about money. It's about security, purpose, and lifting others. As you apply these lessons, remember, you're not just building a portfolio. You're building a legacy. Share what you learn. Mentor a teen. Fund a scholarship. Advocate for fair policies. Because true wealth isn't measured by what you own. It's measured by how many lives you touch.